Bestie by Dornick in the background there. I'm Lukan Online, bringing you all the best unsigned, the independent artists in the UK. If you have been listening since 12 o'clock, you will know that I've been here on my own because there is no Ellis here in the studio. But it doesn't matter because we have our special guest now. She goes by the name of...
Hannah V, everyone.
She's here in the studio.
Yay,
she was just saying off air, oh yeah, it's okay, we must catch up. But Hannah V, like, she's only down the road.
Babes.
You're down the road. No one sees you.
Okay, true, that's true.
Right,
that's
you're
true.
literally down the road.
Yeah, no, that's
right?
true. That's
Not
true.
only that, I've invited you to other places as well.
Yeah, but I don't like going out. I'm a hermit.
Oh my gosh.
Come to the studio, innit? Let's link up during the day.
During the day, I've got a day job.
Okay,
a 9 to 5.
Yeah, fair enough.
Doing that.
Fair enough.
Anyway, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
It's great.
babes.
It's great to see you. It's great to see you. But how long has it been? I'm saying 2 years, but it probably has been about that.
Since I've been here?
Yeah. In the studio here.
Wow. I guess because I do see you in
well,
between.
you do see me twice.
But yeah, probably...
I'm going to do a check, actually. I'm going to check Instagram. Instagram can't lie. So the last time we done a post here in the studio...
Was it for one of my It Ain't Right or something? I don't know.
I really can't remember, but I'm
Yeah,
going
it
to
could
check.
have been 2 years.
It probably was about... Yeah, because I think it's that first EP, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Jeez.
A lot has happened since then.
A lot has happened since then.
Jeez.
Advert extraordinaire.
Yes, thanks.
So let's talk about it. So what's the first EP that you dropped?
Version 2.0.
Mm-hmm. And was it 5 tracks on there, 6 tracks on
4
there?
tracks on
Just
that.
4?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 tracks on there. And then since then, what have you done?
So since then, I dropped another single, It Ain't Right, which was chosen as a Rimmel ad. Then me and Sony parted ways. And so I was basically...
What happened there? Got to ask the question.
And then we parted ways.
What happened there?
And then, no, it wasn't even like that deep. It was just
I thought you were going to ignore me again, to be honest. But there you go.
Whatever. It wasn't that deep, but it felt deep, to be honest. Because so for a year, I kind of was slightly depressed and feeling crappy about myself and thinking like, man, this whole independent thing is hardcore, as you know, because that's what you support.
But you knew that from the get-go there.
Yeah, but it's different because Lukan,
it's
you know my
knowing it.
journey
Yeah,
is a weird one, isn't it? I
Yeah.
came from being a session musician for Superstars to being a signed artist.
Yeah.
So as much as you appreciate the independent journey, you only realize how hard it is when
Once
you're in it.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you're like, once you're not Sony's Hannah V, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And it's kind of harsh because you're still making, I'm still making music as good as I can. I'm still improving. I'm still the same artist, but like doors close.
I was going to ask that. So were there outside benefits? So obviously there's benefits internally of being linked with Sony, but outside of Sony, were there also benefits there?
Because it's almost like people were more willing to come through the door when I was Sony's Hannah V.
Right. Okay.
So for in terms of collaborations, in terms of there was just more of a hype because I think people have that kind of still that think that like being signed is like the golden ticket, So
I don't know if that will ever change, to be honest. I don't know.
We all know, obviously, like seeing how stuff is shifting. That
I know, but
we can
still,
do things by ourselves.
We can, but it's still the grind is hard on your own, and there's always a carrot of you've got the machine behind you. Whereas doing it on your own and with friends, because you can get friends and do it, and you can say you can formulate a plan. But once you've got the machine behind you, it's got to be a lot easier.
It is a lot easier, and also like, and it's the small things, isn't it? Like the first time I had my first meeting at Sony before I signed, like you walk in and there's like a spread of sandwiches, and you're like, oh my god, they dropped like £100 on me.
Yeah.
Like you're gassed yourself because it's like in
Were
the
they
movies.
nice sandwiches though? Because some of them bougie meetings, the sandwiches are horrible.
You know what? I don't remember because I was so nervous. So all I was doing was drinking loads of coffee and like trying to like be clean with all my sugar packages. Do you know what I mean? Because you're just like taking loads of sugars, like the little packages, and then all of a sudden I've got loads of paper, and I was just like, I'm trying to be professional.
Yeah.
So and I only got sandwiches once I signed.
That
was it.
That was it. Yeah, that was a lot.
Babes.
Yeah.
No
That's
more
your
big meeting
£100,
rooms and no more sandwiches.
Yeah.
No, but of course, it's amazing to have a team. It's amazing to kind of sit down with somebody whose job is social media. And I learned a lot, you learn from professionals how to run your business. And it's really, 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 really hard alone. And hats off to everyone. Like, I've only been doing it independent for 2 years, and it's probably the hardest thing I've done. And hats off to all my peoples that have been doing it for much longer and are still standing, because it's hard, man.
Have you thought to yourself, you know what, I've had enough at any point?
I mean, for the first 6 months when I got dropped from Sony, I didn't do my own stuff, so I was only producing for other people. I couldn't do it. I was like, it's just like, it was kind of like, because you feel like you're dumped, even if that's not the case, and you know there are factors completely outside of the music. You feel like you've been dumped, you know. So you feel like slightly unworthy. You feel like your music's not good enough. You feel like you're not cool enough. You feel like da 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 da. And so I just couldn't work on my own stuff.
How does it work? Obviously, and I don't want to pressing it too much, but how does it work? Like, do they call you into a meeting? Do they send you a text? Like, is it through post, Royal Mail?
I mean, in my case, it was pretty deep. I just had my A&R come to the studio. We're talking about some stuff, and he's just like, babes, it ain't happening.
Really?
And I was like, and he's a good friend of mine. He's kind of someone who's always helped me over the last 10 years of my career. So it was just like, what do you say? Do you know what I mean? You don't want to kind of burst into tears. And also you're slightly like, nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. You know? And
put a brave face and all that.
Of course. But in hindsight, I can honestly say I think the music I'm making now is much more me. I'm not going to say it's better or...
So were they directing you?
Well...
It's the sound that they wanted?
Not really, but also I couldn't do the weird jazzy stuff that I'm doing now.
Right, okay.
You know, like, because it was aimed at radio. And I was very aware that, you know, when you enter into an agreement, it's a business, you know, and you're trying to make money as well. You know, whereas now I just do whatever I want to. I don't even think about it in terms of radio play and stuff like that. It's nice when it does happen.
Do you feel more free now?
I feel more free, but also freedom isn't easy, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you know you have this. People think like just being free is like great, but it's also tough when nobody's telling you if the stuff is good or not. Nobody's telling you if they're really feeling it or not. Nobody knows where it's gonna fit.
But you must have enough people around you to tell you that stuff.
Yeah, but Lukan, you know how I am. I'm proud, man. It's like, do you know what? I only send it to like cores and that's it.
Yeah, but then he's gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, he's totally honest. Yeah. But that's only one person, you know, and then you still put it out in the world, and sometimes people resonate with it, sometimes they don't, and all I could, you know, like, all I feel I can do is do what I really want to do, and hope that at some point it'll resonate with more people or not. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of doing niche music is a tough thing.
But when it works, it really works.
Yeah, when it works, it really works. But you also have to be cool with it not working. And that's I'm still struggling with that. You know, I'm still struggling with like putting stuff out that, you know, I've worked so hard on it, really like poured my heart and soul into it, and it just doesn't catch. Doesn't catch with everyone because there's no big choruses. There's not like, it's not trap beat or whatever. It's not the usual stuff you hear on radio. And you have to listen a couple of times. Some of my stuff, they're growers.
Okay.
They're not immediate, you know.
Okay. So you were talking about. So I cut you there. We were talking about after version 2.0 what you went and done. So you spoke about your track that was. You know, I think I cut you before you said where.
And the Rimmel ad.
The advert that it was on. How did that go about? Was that because you were starting to Sony?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So that was on the Rimmel ads. Then after that?
Then kind of a year of feeling sorry for myself. And this year of kind of coming back. So I was really fortunate. I got a fund from the PRS called, it's from the Women Make Music Fund. So it's, they have a fund specifically aimed at females in the industry. And so, you know, you have to do this big old application and all of that. And I got some funding, and that kind of gave me the energy again to be like, sometimes you just need a bit of...
Why did you get funding? Based on what?
So you just fill out a whole thing.
The reason why I asked it because I can imagine there's 1,000,001 women who say, I'm a female artist, I'm going to write, but what was your selling point?
I guess my selling point is there's not a lot of female producers.
Oh, okay.
You know? And I was kind of, you kind of say in your application what you're going to do, and I want to do an EP, and I don't know, I just got lucky. My application was, I don't know, you know, I got the funding, and that was kind of like a moment where you're just like, sometimes you just need people to believe in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not enough for one person to be like, yeah, you're making really dope stuff. And so when I got that fund, it kind of gave me like energy again to concentrate on my own project. That happened the end of last year. I've got an EP now, but I think I'm gonna aim for an album actually, because the songs are just coming and
Really?
Yeah, and it's dope stuff. I'm really into it, and so We March On is the first track of the new sound.
I always get a little bit nervous when people say they're going to go into an album.
Yeah.
Because the attention span of people.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You're not really going to go from cover to cover, I say, on an album. Obviously not covers, but track one to track, whatever it might be on an album, because there's just so much music out there.
Yeah,
I had a conversation with someone the other day, and he said, you know what, for someone to replay your track is a big enough thing, because people got so much music to get through, and you really want to do that?
I don't know yet. All I'm saying is the EP is ready, and it sounds dope. But there's more dope stuff happening as well.
Yeah.
So I think let's reevaluate in January and see where we're at. You know, so maybe it'll be a longer EP, maybe it'll be a 7-track EP or whatever.
Okay. So the EP that's ready.
More or less ready.
Okay, right. So, but you've got. So, how many tracks have you got at your disposal now, ready to go into EP, if you chose to use them?
So We March On about 4 others.
Oh yeah.
So it would be 4 or 5 tracks.
Okay, cool. Right, I think we should play a track.
Yes.
I'm not sure what we should play. So, we got We March On that we could play. We've also got the other track that you want to talk about that we could play as well, which I don't want to mention just yet. Let's go back a bit. I think we should go back.
Let's go back.
I like going back. Where should we go back to? And I didn't plan this as well, so you let me know.
Let us go. Let's go to 2.0, no? Where it all started.
Should we do that? I was hoping you'd say that, actually. Okay, so just as a recap, remind people of 2.0, where your head was at when you made 2.0.
So 2.0 was my very first single as an artist. So Hannah V featuring super dope singer-rapper called Amma Schreier. And it was kind of a track written about the industry. The chorus says they don't want to get to know me, they just want a version 2.0 me. And it's about how in certain industries you feel like you can't be honest to yourself. You feel you have to be like this polished version for people to acknowledge you or put you on, you know? And that's what the track was about.
Let's play it. 2.0 by Hannah V. She's in the studio.
They just wanna. They just wanna.
So we got up to getting my fund.
Oh, right, yeah,
from
to
the
get the funding, yep.
And me
Sorry,
getting my
before you go
mojo
further,
back.
You say that there's not many female producers. There's loads. I think there's probably more now than when you first started.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
probably not aware of it.
There's more, but
Yeah.
obviously, and as babes, I think especially what I do, there's not a lot of female producers. Which is, I produce in the pop genre and I have clients, you know, so it's I don't only produce myself. I have tons of people coming through and I deal with labels and mix engineers and mastering, you know, so that I feel I only know 2 others in London that kind of have our producers as a full-time job.
Yeah, okay.
And not only self-producing artists, you know?
I'll go with that. Okay, fair enough. Right, so you got Mojo back.
Got my mojo back.
Feeling good about life again?
And you know what, to be honest, I also started finally being able to ever so slightly pay my rent, because that's tough too, man. You know, I've been trying to do
That's necessary.
Trying to do this production thing for 4 years now, almost 4 years. Two out of those years I was signed, so like I'd had a bit of an advance and all of that. But you know, I had to build up my client base. I had no clients, and like it's really hard to get paid in the studio. But the beginning of this year, things slowly started turning around, and I had people just come up to me and be like, "Yo, like we'll pay." And it's just so nice to kind of, and you know, you figure out your hustle, innit? You figure out how you're gonna make in my little studio, my 4 walls, how I'm gonna make it work for me, pay my rent, and I'm still broke, but I'm not as broke as I was last year, man. So
we're all broke.
So it's just like, I'm just so happy that, you know, like little things that I can buy a weekly Oyster card. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff like, Lukan, you know, stuff like that means a lot.
Did you ever have to sleep in your studio?
No, not allowed to. Close at 11, innit?
Really?
Babes, that would have been easy then. That would have been the one.
Wow. You know, because you hear these stories like people sleep in their cars in the studio.
Yeah, no, where they kicked us out at 11.
How's that cat?
Doris is fine.
She's still there?
Fat, bit smelly. but she's still chilling with me every day.
So Hanabi has this cat. That
I don't have a cat. The studio, the complex has a cat.
She seems to have taken a liking to this cat, or the cat took a liking to her.
I'm obsessed with the cat, yeah.
Right, so you found your mojo, you're now paying your rent, everything's good.
Just about, just about.
But you always seem to be away in Berlin or something.
Yeah, but, you know, again, with this whole music thing, man, you have to sow seeds, isn't it? And it takes a long time for that to actually turn into hard cash.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm going back and forth in Berlin, and I'm starting to work there, but it's not like...
So you're over there on work, are you?
Yeah, I'm starting to slowly write and produce there. And again, it's my parents live there, so I can crash it there. You know, so it's like get the cheapest Ryanair flight and just try and make it happen, you know? And Lukan, you know me, like I'm always trying to make it happen.
Grinding.
But it takes a second for it to actually generate income, you know? And very slowly getting
it just
there.
sounds like a hard slog, like it really does.
I don't, sometimes, and you know, the whole time I'm still getting tours offered. I'm getting gigs offered. Yeah? You know, like, can I come on the road, play keyboards for so-and-so?
You can't do it, you haven't got the time.
I don't wanna do it.
You actually don't want to?
Don't wanna, man.
Really?
Because I feel like if I stick this out, it's already getting better.
Oh, right, but could you not intertwine the two, like...
I feel it's really different headspaces. Like me being creative and like really listening to my instinct in the studio, as opposed to me copying parts off an album. I go into a very different headspace, and then it takes me like 3-4 days to get back into that creative space again.
Really?
Yeah.
So couldn't you like potentially, if you were to go on the tour with somebody, surely you could find some inspiration and say, you know what, actually, even if it's not hearing something, but something just clicked from being around people, and then you go back to your studio when you get back there.
Babe, I've tried it, innit? I was on the road for 10 years.
Doesn't work.
Because you're so tired on the road, Because it's like early flights, high energy at 9 p.m. for 2 hours. Yeah. Then you live unhealthy, you drink a bit too much, you eat crap, blah, 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 you know? It's a very social aspect, too, of touring, you know, where you're kind of out and about. It's really hard to concentrate on anything other. For me, personally, it was really hard to concentrate on anything other than just doing a dope-ass show. And like the rest of the time, you're kind of in a slight zombie state because you're tired. You know, traveling is knackering. You know, living out of a suitcase.
I've never been on tour. I'd love to go on tour.
It's amazing.
I think everyone says that though.
Amazing. It's amazing. I absolutely had some of the best times of my life on tour. Yeah. I've seen crazy things on tour, but it's tiring.
Yeah. And I get that.
And it accesses a different part of your brain, you know. And the whole thing about gigging and touring is like you have to have high adrenaline for 2.5 hours every day, right? Whereas with studio, I got to spread that adrenaline over 10-12 hours every single day. Yeah. So it's just different.
But that's got to be draining as well.
It is, but you start. It's like any other job. You figure out how to do it. You know, like you figure out to get your little smoothie in the morning, take a little break, chill with Doris the cat for 10 minutes, get some fresh air. Yeah. You know, like. Yeah. You figure out how to capitalize.
Do the walls ever start closing in on you?
Babe, I love my studio. No.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Drop me off and pick me up in 10 years, man. I am happy.
Serious?
And that's what's so beautiful to me. Like for someone who's like, for 10 years, I didn't even sleep in my own bed for more than a couple of days at a time. To now have more or less like a normal job. For me, it feels normal. You know, I work in the studio Mondays to Fridays because my brother takes it on the weekends. Yeah. You know, so I've got the Boo Monday. I've got the whole Friday. Like I feel part of society, man. I think
that's crazy.
I love it. I love it. It's like a novelty to me.
I mean, when I go to my little 9 to 5, I'm desperate to get out.
Yeah, but babe, if this was your 9 to 5, you wouldn't be.
But you know what? I'm thinking about the space. Yeah. Like even if I enjoy the job, I'm thinking about being. I like being here. Yeah. I couldn't be here for more than the 3 hours. I go mental. 5 days a week, that's not happening. I'm breaking. There's a wall coming down. And I need to be outside. Sun needs to be shining. Have you got windows in your studio?
I got a window.
Oh, you got a window?
And that makes all the difference.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I got a window and I got a plant.
A plant?
Little
a plant by the window.
Things, yep.
That's crazy to me. It is mad. Okay, so where are we now? But loads of good things are happening for you right now. Okay, so let's talk about. We're going to talk about your EP in a second. I know we're slightly touching it, but you've also got another project that's recently been released, or one that you're involved in. Yes. Speak about that.
So there's an amazing singer-songwriter called J.P. Cooper, basically my favorite artist in the world, and he's a good friend of mine. We met when I first signed to Sony, so about 4 years ago. And
is he signed to Sony?
No, he signed to Island.
Okay.
Or Island.
Island, yeah, Island. Man's not hot.
Anyways. So he's ridiculous, and we started working together. We love the same music, and so he jumped on some of my stuff. I was played keys on some of his stuff, and him and Stormzy were always fans of each other. And so JP the whole time was like, yeah, I'm gonna go in with Stormzy, and as a joke I was like, babes, do to my studio, please, 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 not thinking like, like you guys are big dogs, like you can go to any studio in the world, but they came to my studio.
They both came in the same time.
Both came into my studio. We wrote a song called Mama's Prayers, which was super emotional for me. Like the whole song got written in 3-4 hours, really. Stormzy only had 3 hours time. The vocals on the final track are the vocals we recorded on the first day.
They are?
They are.
Okay.
The demo vocals, we just cut them and it just sounded great.
Yeah.
And because JP and his team, they're just so cool. They kind of just gave me free reign on the production, because I was like, look guys, for me to do it properly, I need a choir and I need strings and I need my best musicians. And they're like, cool, do your thing, man. And
was there an idea in place before they came in, or was it just a blank canvas?
No, actually, the joke of it is, I'm gonna out myself, because I was like, Stormzy's coming in, I need to learn how to make grime. So for a week, I was practicing grime beats, and I played them to JP, and obviously, like me and JP, like, what do we know? He's like, sounds pretty cool to me, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, my grime beats are dope, man. So Stormzy comes in, and I was like, so I prepared some beats, and I start playing him some beats, like cringe, babe. They're not bad, but I was cringing. And he's like, Hannah, I didn't come here to do grime, babes.
Serious.
Standard. Why would he come to JP and me? And he's like, I just want to do like something like soulful and whatever. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of more straightforward. And JP was just like, Hannah, play that one piano thing you were playing before.
I thought you were gonna say he's gonna laugh at your beats. I thought that's what was going to happen.
No,
that's what I was prepared for.
No, and to be fair, some of the beats are being used for other artists, so it's cool.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he wasn't like, Hannah, those are the dopest beats I've heard, for sure. Somewhere in between.
Yeah, that was his head.
Somewhere in between laughing and, and
so do you think maybe he just wanted to spare your feelings? Maybe he thought, these are whack, but let's be nice about it.
No, well, maybe. But we then kind of went through a couple of like piano hooks that I recorded, and one of them he's just like, I like that. Yeah. And like literally 2-3 hours later, the track was written, man. And like I just sat back and watched them two write, and it was
so
just
exactly. Like, so you played the beat. Everyone just sat down with a notepad and pen.
Literally.
Wrote down.
Literally.
One on that wall. One on that wall.
Babe, like this, fast. And I'm just playing the piano part. It's like it was. So like
you played it live, were you?
I had it recorded, but then as we're writing, I'm playing along and like slowly building a bit of a beat, because I only had like 8 bars, so I'm just like beefing it up a bit, trying not to get in their way while they're writing, you know. And honestly, it was just like really emotional, like because they're talking about Mama's prayers. And
so what happened? So there was no. So I'm trying to get my head around this song. So there was no actual.
There was nothing.
Nothing planned.
Nothing.
So so who said, I'm going to write about my mum?
Stormzy.
Yeah. And JP said, cool.
Yep.
And he wrote based on his mum in that corner. Yep. Stormzy wrote about his mum in that corner. Yep. And it came together
in such a beautiful way.
So how long did it take to record? Once they'd written all their bars, how long did it take to record?
Well, Stormzy was only there for 3 hours, so
of course,
let's say 1 hour of him and JP just chatting, because them doing their thing, and I was like it was like church, babe. Like I was in the background just playing, just playing a bit, because I was just like, let me stay out of the way, because this is like, like I didn't know how involved I was going to be in this or not. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm just accommodating you guys. Yeah. So for it all to be then, for me to have such involvement in it was kind of amazing. So 1 hour of them kind of chatting, 1 hour of them writing, 1 hour of quickly putting down vocals.
Have they met before, those two? I know they're a fan of each other, but
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Sounds cool. Right, so we're going to play it. Mama's Prayers, produced by Hannah V, here in the studio.
I know.
JP Cooper featuring Stormzy. So this is going to be on JP Cooper's album.
Yep.
Is it out yet?
Out on October the 6th.
Okay, wicked. Have you got any more
yes,
tracks?
and
oh, really?
I produced the title track as well.
Wow, so you got 2 tracks on that album. That's all right, and it's the things I'm really looking at. Hannah V, JP Cooper, and Stormzy. This is Mama's Prayers.
Many things you pulled me through, and I wouldn't even know. There's an army that walks with me when I step out on that road. You them every day to accompany me on my way. can never forget.
You know what I like about the Stormzy the most?
What?
The fact that he's not scared to sing.
Nah, man, he just goes for it.
And not like, even if he's not scared to sing, that's one thing. But being not scared to sing right next to JP Cooper
Babes.
as something else, right? That's madness.
And they complement each other so well, isn't it?
It kind of works, yeah.
Heartwarming when Storm sings.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I do like that. First time hearing it from me. So how long did it? So once, so just to get the understanding of how this thing was put together. Once Stormzy had left, you worked on it with JP Cooper. I'm assuming, did he leave and then you just worked on it, put it together? So
put it together, but then you just wait, isn't it? Because for me to be able to get the choirs and the strings and blah blah blah, all of that on it, basically money, innit?
So that's what I was going to say. So who was the choir and how did you get hold of the choir?
So I was just sitting on it, and you know, it's a really weird feeling knowing you're sitting on something special. I've never had it before.
Right.
You know, and it's not just because it's JP and Stormzy. It was bigger than that. It felt bigger than that. You know, like it felt like a song that the world needed. It felt really relevant, and so I had to play the waiting game, man. You know, like I had to. It's not like I could tell anyone. I couldn't play it to no one. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't be like, oh, I got a track with Stormzy coming out soon. I promise.
You can't.
I didn't want to because you never know what happens. Maybe it'll come out, maybe it won't. Maybe you know, I didn't want to gas myself up.
Yeah.
And then in I think it was end of April, I got a call from Island. And it's like, Hannah, like we're gonna go with this on the album. Yeah. And you've got 4 days to finish it.
Oh wow. So have they heard the unfinished version?
Yeah,
okay,
they'd all heard it, you know, like even after the session, you know, we had people come down. Like everybody was really excited about the session.
So at this point then there was no choir, there was no strings.
There's no strings, there's no choir. There was no, the only thing that I had on the drums were just a loop I had. But I had live bass and live guitar because I've got some of my homies. I've got good friends in the music world, you know, and I just sent them the track more or less after a couple of days after the session. And I said, guys, I ain't got no cash, but I think we're onto something here. So please just do this. Do me a favor, man. Yeah. And, you know.
Can I just say, to interrupt? Daryl Thomas, if you are listening, says Hannah V rocks, sending mad love from Stockholm in Sweden.
Hi, Daryl.
So I don't have a producer's mind. Yeah. Now, hearing that, it needs the choir in it. Yeah. It needs the strings. It needs all that stuff. How do you hear the fact that, you know what, this is what it's missing? Because if you played me something and then played me another version, I'd be like, yes, that's what was missing. But I can't tell you in advance that's what it needs.
I think that's my job, isn't it? As a producer, my job is to have the vision. Yeah. To know exactly what it's meant to sound like in the end. And I can hear that I can see it, I can feel it. Yeah. And then it's just like, and it's all about frequencies as well, and it's just kind of coloring in what's missing and my instinct. And that's the more experienced I get as a producer, the better my instinct is, and I don't second guess myself, you know? And again, a lot of the things I can mock up, you know, like, so the strings, I had fake strings, I had fake Hammond, I've had, you know, like I can mock it all up in the studio, so you can get a general idea of where it's gonna go.
So I just got your text here outside. No, but it sounds brilliant. It really does.
And then, I just had 4 days. So, like, at that point, because I was like, this is going to be intense. How am I going to pull this together in 4 days? Because I got to record live drums. I got to record live drums, strings, and a choir. Everything else I more or less had, and Hammond. Yeah. And so I just outsourced to some of my homies, man, which is so great. My drummer, who's also Laura Mvula's producer, I was just like, bro, can you please do me a quick string arrangement? Yeah. He's like, yep, no problem. Yeah. He arranged the strings, we recorded drums, Hammond, and strings at his studio. Nicky Brown was the choir director. He has a studio in the same place as I did. And I just went up to him in that on that Tuesday or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, babes, these are my ideas for like vocal parts. What do you think? I was just going to call my girls. Yeah. And he's like this legend in the gospel world. And he just started singing some parts. He was like, oh, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. And I was like, can you please do it for me? Like, let's get one singer less, and can you just do it?
You know what you've got, and I shouldn't even say this, but you've got A-flamers that are always, sometimes downstairs. I say A-flamers sometimes downstairs in your building, and that'll cut out half your work because they're always rehearsing down your downstairs. Yeah. See, look at that. See, you know,
connection. Look.
I need to be some sort of, I need some sort of payment for like making people's lives easier. But you could have done that. So how did you reach out to a choir, and what choir did you reach out to?
Nicky Brown is basically a really big deal in the gospel world.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he kind of runs the music for Ruach Church, so that's like 7 services he has to sort out every week, and he knows everyone.
Bloody
so I was just like, Nicky, can you hire whoever you need to hire?
Does he work in your studio?
Yeah, so he's got a studio upstairs as well.
Ah, okay.
You know?
Right. Oh, I say your studio, your building. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so he hooked up the choir session, and you know, and then so I just had to piece it all together, you know. But it was really emotional for me because Nicky, Troy, all of these people, all the people that played on the track too, they're really good friends of mine. Yeah. So it's a really beautiful thing, kind of being able to do this teamwork. Do you know what I mean? Teamwork makes the dream work. And when I saw, like, obviously I was there kind of as a producer while Nicky was recording the choir and stuff like that. And you just kind of see your homies. And you know how sometimes you just chill with people, you don't see them work. And you're like, I know you're sturdy, but I haven't seen you work. I just know it. And then you see them work and you're like, rah, I didn't even know the levels of how good a choir director can be. Because it's like, no, this, that, bam, bam, bam. And I was just like, I ain't got nothing to say, man. Just do your thing. And like, I was really proud of my team, you know. And
so do you think this might be a single?
Possibly.
It sounds like a single to me. If I'm being honest, it sounds like a single to me.
I think, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
So you've not heard anything? You've heard whisperings that it could be?
Whisperings.
It's going to be a single.
I hope so.
I'm telling
I
you.
hope so.
I'm telling you. You heard it here first.
I hope so.
And if not, I'll speak to Island.
Okay, please.
Yeah? All right, I'll do that.
Island.
Right, so back to you, your own project.
Yes.
You're working on some music. You've got a new track out. Is the video out yet?
No, coming out very soon.
Okay, so it's recorded, all done?
Yeah.
Edited?
Yes.
Cool. What's the song that you've got? What's it called?
So this song is called We March On.
Featuring
my best friend, Natalie Williams.
You always make sure you get that bit in, don't you?
Yeah. But I guess that's something I've learned in the last couple of years too. It's making music with your homies is really special. You know, there's something about, you know, so me and JP making music together, me and Nat making music together, me and Cherry making music together. It's just on a different level because you can be really honest about the topics, about, you know, if you like something, if you don't like something, whatever. And yeah, so this song, We March On, me and Nat were just in the studio. I kind of had like the beat, kind of had a mock-up of that, you know. I knew where I wanted the chords to go and stuff like that. And we were just talking about how really horrible things seem to, you know, happen to all of us. You know, like life is really tough, but how you sometimes, like, you still kind of find the energy, even if it takes months or whatever to get out of a bad spot, you keep marching on, you know, and that kind of resilience that we've got, and if, you know, that faith, hope, all of that. And this is the song, We March On.
Wicked. Okay, right, so just let people, because we're going to have to wrap up the interview now, so let people know your social media. Hannah, don't give me none of that nonsense.
I've only started.
I've actually just...
I've got loads more to say about everything.
I know there's so much, but you know what? You need to stop. You come around once a leap year. That's when you come around to the studio.
Yeah, no, I'll come more often.
Whatever.
Babes, when's the last time you invited me to the studio?
It's an open door. I've probably said it to you a million times. Whenever you want to come, all right, I'm saying it live right now. Yeah, whenever you want to come, just say, you know, I'm coming. That's it. All right?
Cool.
We ain't going to see you. I know we're not going to see you.
Okay, watch the
I've actually spared you. Do you want to do the karaoke challenge?
No, absolutely not. I don't know what it is, but absolutely not.
It's easy.
No,
all you do is you pick a track at random.
No.
And you just sing along to the beat.
Hell to the no.
Why not?
Hell to the no.
You know you're the only person that's been spared this karaoke challenge.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know, but it would be funny to have you do it.
No. Absolutely not.
What about if you just done a chorus?
Babes, I'm a producer and a pianist. I hide behind my equipment.
A cappella.
I ain't no hell to the no.
Let people know your social media.
Hannah V Official or Hannah V.
And this EP, if it does come out, it'll be coming out around about when?
January, February. But I'll be dropping singles in the meantime.
And this video will be out when?
Hopefully next week, mid-next week.
Wicked. We March On by Hannah V, featuring Natalie Williams. Here on DejaVu FM, thank you once again for coming in, and we'll see you in 4 years' time.
Bye.